Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy vicslanghope. And I got another video to y'all and to y'all for y'all. And today's video is about what you should know about Crips in New York City. And again, this might be changing, you know what I'm saying, but this is just about the landscape of like gang politics in New York City when it comes to like Crips, right? And throughout my time in the gang and outside the gang and incarcerated and just peeping game, I noticed that most of the Crips in New York City, they are either immigrant themselves or their parents were immigrants, right? Or their descendants from them. And I didn't really pay attention to this before, cause I was younger back then. You don't really analyze certain things. You don't really pay attention to certain things. You just going with the wind, you know what I'm saying? You just living in survival mode. You're not really paying attention to it. But I noticed throughout my encounters and incarceration and all of those things, I noticed that like most of the Crips I came in contact with, there was either Haitian, there was either Jamaican, they were either Belizean, they were either Panamanian, like from other places, right? But like a lot of times, oftentimes in New York City, I don't, it might be a little different in other places, but in New York City, most of the Crips, I believe, they are either immigrants or of immigrant descent. And why am I bringing that up? So I'm bringing that up because I think a lot of times it fuels, a lot of times racial and ethnic tensions fuel like gang beef and gang drama. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, for example, when I was locked up in Rikers Island, I explained to y'all a situation when I was living in a Crip house. So when I was living in a Crip house, there was a racial situation that happened. It had nothing to do with Crip and Patria. It was just a racial situation that happened. And the Spanish guys decided with the Spanish, they didn't care whether they was Patria or what was going on, right? The Spanish guys grouped up, the black guys grouped up. And because it was a racial tension, somebody might look at it like it was Crip versus Patria because predominantly the black people in the house were Crip and predominantly the Hispanic people in the house were Patria, right? So you might look at it that way, but what really started the whole situation, it was a pointless situation. It had nothing to do with no gang. And the dude that the situation started over, he wasn't a Patria, and the black dude, he was a Jamaican dude that the situation started over. He wasn't Crip. He was in Crip. So that just shows you that a lot of times racial and ethnic situations fuel, like fuel gang wars and gang situations, at least in New York City. That's because it's very diverse and there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of different people. So another point I wanted to make is similarly to like when the Bloods first came out over here, right? And when they started in jail, and and the reason why, well, another, an old timer Blood that was around when it first started. I was locked up with him, and he was playing me on the game. He actually was Muslim too, and he had put me on the game, and he was just saying like, like we the black people just wanted to be protected, like the Spanish people were cutting people. Again, this is just stories that I'm hearing. Don't come in my comment section talking about you wasn't there, you don't know. I don't know what happened, and there's always 2 or 3 sides to the story. I'm just telling you what the brother was telling me. He told me these dudes was wilding. They was banging on black people. When you came to jail, it was cutting dudes. So black people was only safe if you was 5%er, I think Rastafarian, or like NOI. He said something like that. Like, so he was just saying, other than that, like you was fair game. And he was saying like, brothers didn't want to have to pray or have to do certain things under these religious organizations to be good, to be safe in jail and prison. So he was saying, they got together, they formed a brotherhood. So at one point in time, you would have never seen no Puerto Rican turning blood. You know what I'm saying? You would have never seen none of that. But nowadays in New York City, and I think this is something that also dropped the numbers of the kings, right? I think between drug use and younger Puerto Ricans turning blood, I think these are the things that kind of like change the landscape of the Latin kings in New York City. Again, I'm not in the street. I don't know. Somebody gonna come here and say that's not true, whatever. But this is just, again, me looking in and talking to people and because I know people, like, you know what I'm saying. So talking to people, talking to kings, talking to bloods, and talking to other people, this is kind of like what kind of like took place, right? So today you see a lot of Puerto Ricans who are blood. You don't see a lot of Puerto Ricans who are crip. You know what I'm saying, I'm not saying that you don't have any, you do, and you're starting to see that a little more now than before. But before, like a few years ago, you didn't really see a lot of Puerto Ricans that were crip. And still to this day, you're gonna see more Puerto Ricans who are blood, right? So anyway, so this is just some of like the landscape, right? So back to the Crips being either immigrants or descendants, right? I think, like I said, that fuel a lot of times that fueled a lot of the beef, right? But for example, and a lot of times immigrants tend to be tougher than Americans. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of y'all gonna have a little problem with this because some of y'all, you know what I'm saying, y'all just so sensitive. A lot of times immigrants tend to be tougher than black Americans. And one of the reasons I would say that is because some of these people come from countries that they either in civil war, they've been in turmoil, you know what I'm saying, they chopping people's heads over there. They doing a lot of crazy shit. There's a lot of lawlessness in a lot of these countries, excuse me, that these people are coming from, like, which is the reason why they're fleeing to get to the States. So when you coming from a country that you don't have a high police presence, you know what I'm saying, everybody's fair game, like, you know what I'm saying, like anything could happen, that you could get kidnapped, like all type of stuff be happening in these countries. When you come from certain experiences, when you come from some witnessing gruesome shit, like your mindset gonna be totally different. When you beef with somebody, your tactics is gonna be totally different than somebody that lived here and never experienced the shit that you experienced. If I make sense, you know what I'm saying, it's two different worlds. For example, I stayed in Honduras for 2 years when I was in Honduras, and I had my first street fight in Honduras. You know what I'm saying, and when I came back, I just had a whole different mindset. Like ever since I came back from Honduras, I was just like a different person. Like, you know what I'm saying, like I was just, yeah, it just changed me. Like, you know, like having my first street fight and just witnessing shit and like the tactics and just having that freedom. I was mad young and I was just running around. I was literally running around. Like I was like, yo, I was mad young. You know what I'm saying? Running around. Over here, I wouldn't be able to do that, right? But over there, the kids at a young age, they 8, they 7, they 9, they running around. Y'all seen City of God in Brazil? How them kids was just walking around, mad young, killing older people and wilding out. Y'all seen Shotters? How them little kids, you know what I'm saying, at a young age, they was just wilding over there. So it's a lot of shit that be going on in these countries with these young boys, with these young kids, like just doing shit. So I'm just trying to give you some context of how my mindset changed. So when I came back, like I was on some other shit, like, you feel me? Like I was more bold, like if I ain't like certain things, I was punching people in the face. Like I was just getting crazy when I got back. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold you. My mom started having mad problems when I came back. I was giving her hell. And then when I joined the gang, it was different. Like with the first Crips I used to run with, they were Honduran, and they were the lighter Hondurans, the Indios, if you know what I'm talking about. If you're Honduran watching this shit, you know what I'm talking about. Them motherfuckers is crazy in Honduras. You know what I'm saying? So these was the dudes that I was running with, and they was Crip. You know what I'm saying? So not only did they have like that light, that anti-blackness complex, they also got that I'm an immigrant or I'm Honduran and you black. You know what I'm saying? So, and I see, looking back on it, I see how that shit played out, you know? And these dudes was like crazy. Like, mind you, I was like 12 running with these dudes. And these dudes was older than me. Later on, I found out one of these dudes was my cousin. It's crazy because, you know, he's mad light. And I called him Indio and his hair texture is different. So it's crazy. But yeah, like, these dudes was wild. Like they was wilding. They used to wild out, right? They used to commit crimes, get deported, come back into the country. Like, they was just wild. Like they were wild dudes, you know what I'm saying? They was wild people. So, you know what I'm saying? So it was just mad crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was mad crazy. But I'm just highlighting that because when I was uptown and I was gangbanging, a lot of the people uptown, they was blood. You know what I'm saying? Like they was blood, and some of them was Jamaican, which was kind of like interesting, that they blood. And so a lot of times we was Crip, and they used to call us Yankees, right? They used to call us Yankee boys, and they had that "you American, I'm Jamaican" shit attached to the gang shit. You know what I'm saying? So this is just like a lot of shit that be fueling like a lot of the shit in New York City, when it comes to some of these gangs. So I just wanted to put that out there, you know, because that's like the background, the context that a lot of people don't see. You know what I'm saying, with the gang shit? It's like how racial and ethnic tensions fuel like people joining gangs for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what y'all think about the video, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Am I bugging? Am I tripping? Am I right? Like, did you experience some of these things? Let me know. All right, yo, peace.